Yes, Perio, good afternoon. Good afternoon once again, the top scorers in this country. Can you wave back your beautiful flags back to me? Yeah, thank you very much, and God bless you. We can be seated now. Yeah, thank you very much. Principal Secretary, State Department for Basic, Dr. Perio Kibusang, Principal Secretary, State Department for Higher Education, Dr. Beatrice Inyangara, my sister, Dr. Betty Waweru from Equity Group of Companies, Caroline from UN HCR, Rose from World Bank, the chairperson of Jomo Kenyatta Foundation, the CEO and the CEOs here present, the regional directors of education, the directors in the ministry, the county directors, and all parents and students and the teachers here present. Once again, I must say that this is a very special day, that I'm personally so happy, so delighted. Indeed, ever since the time I was appointed as Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Education, there has not been such a happy moment for me. I have attended several such events, but I must admit that this is one such event that is so special, which has touched my heart, and I think, and I'm sure that it has touched the hearts of many. Today, we are flagging off top scorers to the tune of 14,426 who have been able to access the Elimu scholarship. And indeed, this is a great event for this country of ours. First, I want to congratulate you for excelling in your KCPE examination and for being awarded the Elimu scholarships. Gazing at the mindful faces of all these young minds has made me realize the true meaning of the government's bottom-up transformation agenda, which we are all determined to push to success. Before us today, we have young scholars from every sub-county of our country. All our 47 counties are represented here, predominantly by children whose households are at the bottom of the economic pyramid, a true testimony that this program is one of a kind, one that is helping to bridge the inequities in education in our country. I'm therefore extremely excited to be here to officially flag off the 2024 Elimu Scholarship Program. This program, currently in its 50th cohort of implementation, has already been tremendously transformative in a way we least expected. Let me illustrate this statement. Our first Elimu scholars sat the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examination in 2023. Of all the 9,000 scholarly of this, 42%, which is 3,780 of them, qualified for university education after attaining a mean grade of C+ and above. The rest obtained grades that will comfortably enable them to join middle-level education and training colleges. Please, let us all give a round of applause to our first cohort of scholars. Well done, our scholars. This transformative story of the Elimu scholarship did not end here. From the first cohort of the Elimu scholars, 20 of them scored a mean grade of A+, and 2 of them were here, while 160 scored a mean grade of A- in the 2023 KCSE. There were 350 candidates who scored a mean grade of B+ in the examination. Further analysis shows that there were candidates who scored less than 300 marks in the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education in the 2020 exam, but went on to score mean grades of up to A-. This is value addition that should be celebrated and which is attributable to the Elimu scholarships. Ladies and gentlemen, without doubt, the program is the greatest demonstration of the fact that education has the capacity to break the intergenerational cycle of poverty. I wish to announce that all the 2023 candidates who benefited from the Elimu scholarship program and scored the mean grades of A and A- would automatically qualify to join the Equity Leadership Program. This would expose them to work experience and leadership training within equity across the country as their way to join university. During the program, the students, as confirmed by Petty Waweru, would have an opportunity to start earning Kenya shillings 40,000 per month. Well done, Equity, for this particular initiative. We thank you so much. I take this opportunity to thank Equity Scholarship Foundation for according the beneficiaries of the Elimu program this opportunity to not only run, but also to earn. So far, the program supported 37,574 runners from poor households across the country to transition from primary to secondary education. The additional 14,426 we are about to launch today means that the government is going to give hope to 52,000 runners across the country. This initiative is part of the government's broader goal of 100% transition, which ensures that we do not leave any child behind in the education system. Under the Elimu scholarship program, we support the free-day secondary school education program, which has made it possible for thousands of our children to transit to secondary school. And we are encouraging our parents and each and every one of us, because 67% of our students are in day schools, and our focus in infrastructural development and other requirements will be able to go into day schools so that they are able to perform equally as good as extra county schools and even national schools. And we were happy this year because we had quite a number of people getting A's and also qualifying to university from these particular schools, sub-county schools. Well done. The government is determined to ensure that every child, whatever their gender, background, or place they live, has equal access to education. In this regard, the government has the duty to do everything which is in its power to remove all barriers that prevent children from attending school and completing their basic education. We are aware that most parents from all households, including the poorest and most depressed families, long to give basic education to their children. They long that their children should one day escape from the terrible handicaps from which their parents and guardians have themselves suffered. This forces many parents and guardians to make enormous sacrifice to give their children the best education. Indeed, there is no better demonstration of their parents' desire to change the fortunes of their children than the numbers of children who have successfully applied for the Elimu scholarships. During the 2024 scholarship applications, a total of 95,016 applied for the scholarship, from whom we have picked only 14,426, including refugees. This speaks to the high demand for scholarships in our country. This is why I commend some of our local and international institutions that have stepped forward to complement the government scholarships, such as Kenya Commercial Bank, Cooperative Bank, Equity Foundation, Family Bank, among others. I call upon more organizations to set aside resources for scholarships as part of the community social responsibility programs. Let us do this knowing that parents who have the capacity to keep their children in school without strain comprise a small fraction of our society. The majority lead modest lives that struggle to enroll and retain their children in school. Nevertheless, such parents limit their expenditure on other basic needs as they seek to invest in the education of their children because they know the transformative and the transformer power of education. They know that education gives them hope and confidence in the future. We must give that same hope to those who know educational deprivation today. The Elimu Scholarship Program is one of the reports which has given hope to 52,000 runners. The economic circumstances of their families should not make it very hard for them to send their children to school, particularly when they have to pay school fees. In total, the government is benefiting 52 Elimu Scholarship beneficiaries of an approximate total of Kenya shillings 21.5 billion. During the financial year 2024, the government will spend approximately 4.5 billion to support a total of 43,000 needy and vulnerable runners across the 47 counties. The investment has already put a smile on the faces of children, parents, guardians, and their siblings. It is the turn of our father, 14,426 children and their families, to smile courtesy of the 2023 scholarship program for the 50th cohort of scholars. I'm happy to announce that the Ministry of Education has moved to implement a recommendation of the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms that the Jomo Kenyatta Foundation be made the sole agency that is in charge of all scholarships. Indeed, this is the organization that has helped to coordinate the process of awarding scholarships that we are flagging out today. The government is committed to provide an inclusive quality education for all our children. We have allocated almost 30% of the government's revenue on education. A considerable part of the education budget was to financing primary and secondary education. It has relieved parents and guardians part of the financial burden of financing basic education. The free-day secondary education policy was part of the commitment to remove some of the barriers that prevent children from transiting to secondary education. The government bears the costs of tuition and operational expenses of schooling. The program has led to increased enrollment, retention, and improved performance, as evidenced by the increasing numbers of candidates qualifying for the university admission annually. This is why we have ensured that fees charged for boarding in secondary schools has to remain relatively low. This free-day secondary education program has a transformative power. It has improved transition, retention, and completion rates of runners in secondary education. It has equal power to increase the number of candidates qualifying for admission into universities and vocational education and training institutions. As we develop more strategies in ensuring that all children, regardless of their social status and condition, get into school, I would like to point out that managers of education institutions must create a supportive learning environment that retains the runners in school. Access to school without retention and completion of an educational cycle is meaningless. It undermines the investment the government is making in education. We must all see that all children entering all the tiers of education complete the tier. And this is why I order that close to 4,000 students who failed to see the 2023 KCSE examination, despite joining Form 1 in 2020, must be investigated to establish what could have gone wrong with them. We must ensure that all children transiting into secondary school or senior school are able to complete the school cycle in the spirit of our 100% transition. Ladies and gentlemen, the community, school administrators, and their teachers have a responsibility to make sure that the free and compulsory basic education works. There is no to saddle parents and guardians with illegal levies that disrupts learning. Additionally, they must work together to ensure quality learning and teaching in their schools. I must mention a few ugly cases that we have witnessed in some of our schools recently, where parents invaded some institutions and frogmarched out of their compounds due to what they perceived was poor performance in national examinations. I wish to state that the performance of candidates is the sum total of the efforts of all stakeholders, not just the teachers. Our constitutional and statutory framework protects the right of every child to free and compulsory basic education. Article 43(1) of the Constitution is clear that every person has the right to education. Article 53(1)(b) of the Constitution directs that every child has the right to free and compulsory basic education. Article 53(2) of the Constitution affirms that a child's best interests are of paramount importance in every matter concerning the child. These values and principles are also reiterated in the Basic Education Act 2013. In this context, any decisions we take concerning institutions of basic education must be informed by these key considerations. And let me repeat, any decisions we take concerning institutions of basic education must be informed by these key considerations. I'm sure the county directors who are here, the regional county directors, my peers, and all of us are getting this clearly. At all times, we must not undermine the right of our children to free and compulsory basic education. We must ensure that the best interests of the child are accorded paramount importance in all matters concerning the child, including the child's education. Therefore, while the invasion of schools and attacks on the teachers are unfortunate, and we cannot be able to allow that to continue, we have to adopt careful, systematic, and consultative means of ensuring that we do not deprive innocent children of their right to education. Kindly take note of that. We should be very careful, county directors who are here, and all of us in the education sector. I know and I did condemn the act which happened in St. Gabriel, Isongo, which is a day and a boarding school with about 800 students. And I did make an order that the county director and the field education officers, including quality assurance, but our teacher service commission and all the stakeholders, were to carry out investigations and give me a report. And not only this school, when I released the KCSA exam, PS, I did direct that we had 48,000 E's, that our sub-account directors, our TSC directors, plus our quality assurance people were to conduct an investigation and give us a report which I know should be given any time before the end of the month. And therefore, this particular school, I had a discussion with my counterpart, CS Interior, and I think we are in agreement. And the county directors get this very clearly. I've seen people behaving inarrichly to suggest that they are not of sound mind. Either they have taken certain substances. Kindly, we don't want to allow those people in the schools. Even if one is a member of parliament, if he is behaving in a way that is not normal, is not be able to be allowed into a school, because we are supposed to serve as the role models. What kind of example are we setting to the young people in that particular school? So they should be able to keep away from schools. And that's why we have made it very clear that whatever your position in society, if you misbehave to that extent, this country, we have a system, and you will be taken to court. And that's why I said that those concerned should be able to be taken to court, but we should not be able to punish the child, because that particular child, that is a registered school. We cannot be able to close it down. And of course, we have now said 1 week because they are already at home. The county director and those field officers should work expeditiously so that the teachers and the children are back to school. And as I've said, I've discussed with my colleague in Interior the necessary security and protection when necessary will be given to our teachers. We have to respect our teachers because of the kind of work they do, but at the same time, we cannot afford to say we are sending our children home indefinitely because it jeopardize their future, and that will also work against the constitution of this country. I am therefore directing the Minister of Education field officers and the Ports of Management to move fast and work with the Teacher Service Commission and the Minister of Interior and the National Administration to iron out the misunderstanding in some of the schools where parents invaded schools with a view to ensuring the resumption of normal running activities as soon as possible, which should not be able to go beyond 1 week. It should not be able to go beyond 1 week because we don't want to mess the lives of those young men and women, those young children who are mostly innocent. I wish to extend my special thanks to the Global Partnership for Education, World Bank, and the Legal Foundation for partnering with the government to promote the learning of Kenyan children through the Elimu Scholarship Program. I once again congratulate you for winning the Elimu scholarships and wish you the very best as you embark on your secondary education in the next 4 years. Well done, and well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
A round of applause for our Cabinet Secretary, tumpigie makofi.